I walked from the waste disposal area. I hadn't realized I'd spent so much time there that I found myself completely alone. I must have walked down the empty roads for at least 2 days. I saw it at night and another day. The moon had disappeared and was soon crescent. I found myself in another city, but this was not as the others I had ventured into. It looked remarkably clean. The devastation of the fog was there, but there was many buildings that appeared untouched. I also heard more familiar sounds of life going on as it had done. There wasn't the usual quiet or screaming that I had encountered before. This sounded like almost happy voices. I walked further in, and then I was greeted by a woman and a man dressed in clean white robes, their heads also covered. The woman said to the man, "It's him." I was, to be honest, unaware of what they meant, so rather than ignoring it, I decided to ask for an explanation, and surprisingly got one, and even more surprisingly was still baffled. "Our leader, he dreamt of you a long time ago. He drew your likeness so that we might recognize you when you came. And here you are before us, the very same." "I am sorry, I don't understand what you mean." "You will. We will take you to our leader. He is the most wise and purest of us all, and after all, it was his dream that you appeared in. He will confirm this and explain everything to you. We are just happy to see that you survived. He told us he was not sure you would ever come." I was taken before this man. He was indeed a charismatic man. He had a bright white beard and pure brown eyes that seemed to shine. His very face was effervescent to look at, bright. I knew I was standing in front of a very special kind of man. I felt, to be honest, nervous standing in front of him, but he soon made me feel at ease by embracing me. "I have much to explain to you." "Thanks, but the lady told me you dreamt of me." "Indeed. On the 6th of October, before I woke up, I dreamt of you. I saw your face as clear as it is to me now. I saw you prostrating on the floor in prayer. I heard a sweet voice, which I presumed yours or an angel repeating your words. The words I did not wake with, but I felt the sense that you were praying for the good of man, and that your prayer was indeed answered." "This is all wow, and I am flattered, but what has this to do with me?" "Please sit. Take your time in answering. Let your mind settle. You have a world to lose before you understand what I have to say." "I think I've had enough. I have to be going." "And where will you go? What is it you're looking for? Do you not already see it before you?" "What do you mean?" "What are you looking for?" "My world." "Your world as you knew it is gone. You won't find that. But I don't believe it was that you were looking for. You're looking for people like yourself, survivors, right?" "I suppose. Yes, is there a difference?" "A world." "I don't have time for these riddles." "Yes, it does seem like a riddle, but it is not. But even if it were, if we do not make time to find the answers to our own questions, we will spend our whole life avoiding what we already know. Tell me one thing. Do you people dressed in these saintly robes die as well?" "Yes." "Then you are just as us." "Us?" "Yes, you prayed to God and your people died." "Yes, we lost maybe 100 of our millions because they were not true. Their actions might have appeared as ours did, but their intentions were not. They spoke like us, but their hearts spoke a different tune. Man may not see all, as man can hide much, but God above can see all that we do, everything. Should one who is hypocritical be rewarded as the one who is not? Is the person who does good and the one who does bad the same?" The conversation went on like this for a while, and I knew he had a lot of important things to say, but I was not ready for this. I asked his leave and went to sleep in a house they had repaired. They even brought me a plate of food, a plate full of the most delicious food, despite them still observing their fast. In my bed, I stared out at a window at the stars I wondered about what he had told me. As I did so, something came back to me, like a lightning bolt. I saw an image of myself praying, asking for man to be saved from this chemical weapon, for I did not want to die. Then I saw the moment before that, and I was looking at the date, which read the 7th of October. Then I saw the Scrag City. That was it. It was the day before the earthquake. I thought to myself cynically that okay, he was close to the date when I did pray, but what did this mean? I could see evidence of my prayers. I couldn't see evidence of my prayers being all being answered. In fact, the earthquake proves it did not, as it killed many. So I closed my eyes, restless than before, and slept soundly. Less restless than before and slept soundly. In the morning I got dressed, ready to move on from the city, when a man came out and took me to a lab full of scientists. "Must you disturb us?" said one of the scientists. "It is important you must tell this man what you found. If this is about your leader's dream, I have no time for this. Please, I know you do not believe, but please, if you could tell this man what you've discovered, what you've been doing." "Okay, if it will get rid of you. We have been monitoring patients with symptoms of the radioactive disease that has spread around this country and the world. We have collated much evidence and it appears the disease was progressive and soon would kill those infected, but who had survived the first wave. Then we noticed one day that the disease stopped growing and settled and started to decline, and we expected to disappear from the patients soon, giving them a clean bill of health, as this has never happened." "See," said the white-robed man. "I should remind you that this was the same with the influenza epidemic in 1918, which came on suddenly and without reason disappeared the same way." "This is great. Then I shall not die," I said jubilantly. "But I thought I had the first symptoms, tired, runny nose, cough." "I think you had a cold." The white-robed man continued, "Tell him the date the disease stopped." "The 7th of October, why?" My mouth could have dropped. In fact, I could have fainted. I turned to face the white-robed man, who for the first time was smiling. I felt as if I had seen a ghost. It took me 2 days lying down just thinking of the scientist's words and what the leader of these white-robed men had said for it to sink in. How was this possible, I thought? The leader's dream, my prayer on the 7th of October. Why did I know this date? Because I saw it. The only date I had seen. All these things that a cynic would shout coincidence. But I found inside me that this was more than that. I had prayed for man to be saved, and on that very day, as the leader knew, it had been granted me, a man who did not even believe. That too, when I had prayed in that building as it fell and survived such a large fall, whilst the building was left to rubble. How many times could I have ignored that which inside I knew? I felt something special come over me, like a light, and I fell to my knees and prostrated and cried like I had never cried before. Asking God to forgive me my way, my ignorance, I felt so very undeserving that He had listened to me and bestowed on me my prayers, and had not even shown Him, and that I had not even shown Him the same respect at least, but worse. I felt as if I was crying for every day I had sinned. When the tears finally stopped falling, my face red with exhaustion, I felt light on my feet, as if a great burden had been lifted from my shoulders. I went out in the street, which was full of white-robed people. To me now, my eyes saw something that they could not see before. I saw the joy of their faces. I saw the happiness. I suddenly felt at home. I was home. I walked across the earth, and as I did so, a crack appeared along the way, and there came a roar like a thunderstorm. The leader looked to the distance, and I turned and saw the zombified tramps that had attacked us at the hospital.